one I did. Hi, Cal. Hi, Una. All right. 15 seconds. Bromig. What's up, Jim Dog? Um, Welcome to our studio. It's a little bit weird being by myself. morning. All right? So what's kind of cool about this is we relate everything to neurology. So if we think about what's going on right now, our daily lives were interrupted, right? We're usually doing a morning routine. It's the same thing. We don't have to think about it. It's very easy. Well, now almost everything we're doing requires extra thought, right? And so I'm going to be very general with this, but the frontal lobe, where your cortex is in your brain, is responsible for a lot of that decision making. So we're starting to use that area more than usual, and that can cause some dis-ease. It can cause some anxiety. I'm sure a lot of you noticed that you didn't know what to do with yourself when you had all this free time all of a sudden. So that's totally normal, and I want to take this time as an opportunity to fill that new space with a new routine, okay? So when we're thinking about all this stuff, we just want it to be predictable and repeatable. We want it to be quality. We want it to be intentional so that we can use this extra time we now have to map some new movements on, to lengthen out some muscles, to move some joints more freely so you feel better throughout the day and you're not just sitting there stiff, angry, and waiting until it's an appropriate hour to drink. And you don't have to. It's always an appropriate time. All right, so here's what we need. I have a tennis ball with me. We're going to start from the feet up. I have this hard plastic pipe. I use these two tools on my feet. If you don't have one of these, you could use a wine bottle. I'm sure everyone has one of those. Just be careful that it's either empty or fully sealed. Okay, tennis ball, a lacrosse ball, a softball, anything that's cylindrical or that will give you some resistance. So I come in every day and I take my shoes and socks off and I just start on my feet. And it's really simple. Oh, can't even see my feet. It's really simple. I step on this ball and I start going back and forth from my heel to the pads of my feet. And I'm just looking for excess tension, right? And so the squishier the object, the less tension you're going to get. So I've already done this today. The tennis ball is not doing anything for me. I'm going to go ahead and go to this plastic pipe. You can pick this up at any hardware store. I think it's called ABS piping. It's really cheap. Maybe $8 for this piece. And so I'm just kind of checking in on my feet. I wear barefoot shoes, so my feet tend to get worked a little harder because there's no cushion. So I got to take care of them. So we're going back and forth. I'm going to find some spots that need a little more love, and I'm going to push into those. Right? So we'll spend maybe 90 seconds on each foot. When I first started wearing barefoot shoes, when it was really popular about 7 years ago, I put this next to my front door, and my rule was if you're going to put your shoes on, you got to roll your feet. So before I left the house, I had to roll my feet. And as soon as I got in, I took my shoes off, and I had to roll my feet before I did anything else. So if you're trying out barefoot shoes or if you're walking around barefoot more and working out, you can get a lot of relief from just rolling out the muscles in the bottom of your feet. So about 90 seconds each. Now, what's really cool about some of these, too, is you could do a check-in movement. You could do, let's say, a forward fold or some squats and move around. You could feel your body and kind of check in, like, where am I tight, right? We didn't do that before we did our feet, but a lot of times the feet will open that up right away. So maybe you already know how your squat feels when you're not warmed up. You do a squat or you do, just a nice, easy hamstring stretch or forward bend, and just opening up your feet will open that up almost every time, I promise you. Okay, so once I've rolled my feet out, I usually spend some time on my heels, sitting on my heels, like this, just to open up the front of my ankles and my shins. And your joints are related to your muscle activity. So if your joints are jammed up, your muscles won't fire as well. So really all I'm doing right now is working on all these joints in my feet. There's lots of joints in there. Opening up these ankles so my legs will work a little bit better. I'm on that bike. I'm sitting in a chair now for the first time for more than a few hours a day. It's really weird. I'm becoming a desk athlete. I never wanted to do that. half the reason I work in a gym, so I don't have to sit at a desk. If you're feeling good with this, you can lift up, lean back, lift up your knees, and start working that tension. If this is uncomfortable, you just take a yoga block, a foam roller, anything near you, a blanket you can put underneath you to sit on it. I do this with all of my lower body injury clients, ankles, knees, even hips. I slowly get them down to being comfortable sitting on their heels to regain that joint mobility. Okay, so I'm not going to do too much of this. I know Jay covered it yesterday. You can open up that live stream later and see him do some more. So once I'm there, walk around. I can check in again. Do I feel a little bit looser? I can get my palms on the ground now. My squat's a little more open. That feels good. It's nice to see something change in real time, and a lot of what we're going to do right now will give you an effect that works right now. And then now that we've got a little more extra time with our day, you can come back in a couple hours and just do it again. You do it a couple times a day for a week or two. That's how you actually change the way your body works. You need some repetition over time. Okay, so I'm going to sit up like this. You can do this seated on the floor. Sometimes if I'm on the floor, I'll put my foot up like this. That's a little bit too much stretch right now. But if you're on the floor and it's comfy, get comfortable. We're going to move our ankles and our feet. So this one's called a foot wave. Guys, this is riveting stuff. So hold on to your butts. We're going to curl our toes and then roll down. And I want my arch to activate. I feel a huge stretch to the top of my foot. My arch just cramped. Look at my toes. I'm going to open up, spread those toes, and then stretch it back. So I've got my toes spread, and then I'm curling them. I'm coming down, turning that arch on, spreading, opening back up. Now, if that keeps cramping up on you, you might want to go back to the ball or go back to the pipe. That'll help loosen that up. If it cramps a little bit, I kind of like that. I think that's good. We're going to wake that arch up. Okay? So I'm going to do like 3 to 5 of these. Okay? And then I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to spread my toes as much as I can, reach forward, and then curl up. Years of wearing cleats and getting my foot stepped on from other guys wearing cleats, very heavy men wearing cleats. My feet are jacked up. Now, I've never been to the doctor for a broken foot, but if you look at these bones as I do this, there's some that stick out the way they're probably not supposed to. Okay, so we're spreading and then rolling up. And then from there, we just relax, and we're going to do some ankle circles. Okay, for any of you who have bunions or like any kind of issues in your foot, these are really great drills to bring back some function, to delay the necessity of surgery or even reverse some of those processes. If you do have issues like that, Coach Corey here is a great guy to see. He does some specialization in foot biomechanics. So let's talk about these ankle circles. I'm thinking about this area and my heel moving, okay? And I'm trying to relax my toes. So I'm going to push all the way forward and all the way back. Relax toes. And now I'm going to go all the way to the side and all the way to the side. And then we're going to connect those into a circle. I know, guys, it's really exciting. Open that ankle up. Control it. You might notice that your circle looks like a stop sign or maybe a triangle. That's not very good. This is a circular joint. In the world of should, we should be able to do circles. This is the ABCs of movement. So if you can't do an ankle circle, it's likely your body and your brain aren't going to feel too safe doing some higher speed, higher tension, higher risk activities, kind of like high intensity workouts in your living room after sitting on a couch Indian style for 5 hours in meetings. Okay? So, got my ankle circles in. They're nice and smooth. I'm going to switch sides. We're going to grab those toes, roll it down. This is my real good foot. Open those toes up, and then pull back. Now, you might start to notice that there's excess tension in your quads, your calves, everything else. It's not really a problem. But as you get better at this, you'll want to see if you can isolate just the muscles and joints we want to use and not tense everything. Okay, we want to be efficient with our movement. This is my inefficient leg. So I get a lot of extra tension up here. I've had a lot of injuries on this left side. So it's more in the world of rehab. And then a lot of this stuff will seem like rehab because it is. Anything, as you consider the context, right? I've had a torn calf. I've had knee surgery on this side. I've broken this foot. I've had an ankle sprain. I've had a knee hyperextension, a PCL sprain. All those things cause me to not move my leg the way it usually moves. I'm going to go this way now. And so all this stuff is just bringing back those ABCs of movement and reteaching my body how to use my legs. And then I ramp it up slowly over time and get back into sports movement. So this one's not very good for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually increase the stimulation with a rubber band. So if you have one of these at home or a TheraBand or even just like a belt or something for resistance, it could be helpful. I'm going to use it to cue myself. Normally, for a client, I would hold my finger here and have them grab it, but now I have the band there. So I'm going to give some resistance here, pull down, and now I feel my arch turning on and cramping like it did with this foot, and I want that. Spread the toes, open up, control it back. So I'm going to do a couple of those. Okay. And then moving on to the ankle circles. You could also keep the band on there for your ankle circles. We're adding resistance to this joint mobility exercise, creating some strength. All right, I'm going to let y'all finish this left side. I'm going to check in and see what people are saying, just in case. Try to relax your toes and think about moving your heel. Yeah. What's up? All right, cool. Love it. Katrina's on. Hey. All right, cool. So next, I usually move up to my knees. Now, we're working on the muscles below the ankle on the foot, and then we're moving the ankle, right? So you could also work on the muscles above before you do that, your calves and soleus. Sometimes loosening those up first before you do those drills will make a big difference. My calves weren't particularly tight today, so I'm not going to roll them if I don't have to. But if you have a foam roller or one of these things, you could roll your calves out. And then when we're moving up to the knees, the muscles below the knees are the calves again, and then above are all our quad muscles. So sometimes we need to work on the tissues before we move them. Sometimes we want to work on the joints first. It kind of depends on the person, what they're dealing with, what they're doing, what their brain likes, what it doesn't like. I already worked on my quads earlier after riding the bike, so I'm just going to go straight to movement. So I'm going to start in a neutral stance. My feet are below my shoulders. I'm going to kind of grip the floor. If you imagine that the arch of your foot is a whole nother little foot in the middle of your foot, I want you to grip that little foot, like kind of suction cup it to the floor, and then let some energy flow out your toes, and then just find your balance in the middle of your foot. Okay? We call that ankle point here. It's just a way to distinguish if we're standing up nice and tall and we're balanced in our feet and not in our toes or our heels too much. So I've got my center of gravity, and then I'm going to lock my knees to start. I like these ones. I call these the butterflies. I bring my knees together. I push forward as far as I can, open my knees out, and then lock them. Okay? So I've got a clockwise circle on my right and a counterclockwise on my left. And then I can switch that around. I usually wake up, walk to my living room, and do about 20 of these until my knees stop popping like Rice Krispies. Helps wake me up, helps get me ready for that bike ride coming up to get to work now. So these are fun. You can go with your foot in front of you. As long as you're just completing a nice smooth circle and it doesn't hurt, it feels good. You could even test it every time. Am I getting looser? Am I feeling better? I'm getting way down there now. Squat's feeling really nice. You can feel my butt down there. So knees are actually a circular joint. We don't think of them like that. So as you invite your knees to remember their true nature, they will appreciate you back with good movement. Okay? If you've had like knee surgeries or knee injuries, you might want to start really small. You could even hold on to something and kind of pretend like you're swirling a big bucket of water or something with your foot, and that is a knee circle. Right? No pressure on the knee there. You know, I've had people coming off of their ACL tears and stuff, and when they get cleared to come back, that's usually the first drill I do. I grab their knee with them and teach them that circle again. So we've got a bunch of circles on each side. We'll go to the side here. So this one's a little funky. I can keep this leg straight, or I could bend it with and get a secondary circle back there. And going into playing baseball and softball, it's good to have that rotational movement through your knees because it's in the middle of generating that power from your feet up to your hips, into your glutes and the rest of your swing. So I love doing a bunch of these before I play sports, especially rotational sports. All right? So I've hit my knees, and then I go up to my hips. I'm really just going from the floor up. So when we do hip drills in Z Health and here at J Bodyworks, we take a look at the hip, and we want to see if this hip's good at external rotation or if it's better at internal rotation. So you might feel like it's easier to rotate one way might be tighter. They might feel the same, but typically, one, if you had to hold it for, let's say, 30 seconds, there's one of them that you're like, I'd rather do the other one because it's easier. So I want you to pick the tougher one right now. For me on both sides, it's in, okay? Some people, it might be a different direction. That's fine. You can do it like this, or you can do them both like this. Okay, so I'm going to go toes in. I'm going to lock my knees, and we're going to start with a little Beyonce hips. I didn't make that up. Someone else here did. It's probably Corey. Don't blame me. It just sticks. Okay, so I'm trying to keep my ankle point, and I got side to side, right? Just like with the ankle, top down, side side. So then there's backwards and forward. So when we go backwards, I want to invite you to find that ankle point again. So you might lean forward or back. There's going to be a magic spot, that's the ankle point, by the way, where you feel your hamstrings and your butt turn on. Okay, and then kind of grab with your toes a little bit, squeeze your butt a little bit in the front, maintain your tall spine. That's your front spot. You guessed it, we're going to connect all four and make another circle. If you don't like circles, this is the wrong channel for you. If you're more of a triangle person, I'm sorry I don't do those. I'm probably not that funny. All right. Swing it around. Now, with this one, you might feel a stretch out here. You might feel a stretch here. You might feel crunchy and poppy. As long as it doesn't hurt or nothing goes numb or, feels terrible, you're probably doing some good stuff here. Okay? So I'm going to do about 5 each direction. You can keep going. You can widen these out. Sometimes I'll do them with one leg bent, right? So if I bend into this leg, now I can create a circle around just my left hip, right? You get a little more of an adductor stretch. It's kind of like your lateral lunge. I can even stay deep in that lateral lunge and keep sitting down. Okay? Now, I come in and do this. I get all of this done in like 20 minutes. So it doesn't take that long. And like I said, I'm going to invite you at the end of this or throughout this to pick 1, 2, or 3 of your favorites and just try to repeat those throughout the day. Set an alarm or something. So these are just the ones I've found through my experience, my injuries, my daily life that keep me able to move. And now that I'm riding a bicycle and sitting more, keep me from feeling that low back pain, those pinches, those, what do we call them? When we call them throwing out your back. It's kind of an interesting term. When we have, muscle spasms and different things going on. All right, so I got both sides there. We're feeling good. I'm going to check in with my toe touch. I can lock the knees now and put my palms on the floor. That's pretty good. Feeling loose. So far, we've opened up a forward bend. We worked on a squat. Those are just the things I'm choosing to apply or test. And I don't think I've done any real stretching. So it's kind of a cool look to see that stretching and mobility aren't always the same thing. Oh, Una says, I hope you're writing gems down. We need them in the All right. So, stretching doesn't always equal increased range of motion, but it's also great and has its place. I do a lot of stretching later in the day. I particularly stretch after I've worked out or when I want to be just more relaxed, because if you think about it, that's what you're doing. You're inviting your muscles to elongate and relax. Not the best thing to do is sit there and stretch out your hamstrings or something before you do a squat when you're going to contract the muscles. You want them to be strong and grab on real fast. You want them to be loose when you're chilling out after that workout. Okay, let me look at my notes. Let's see. Okay, so the last one I do here in the lower body region is I'll tuck my pelvis under, okay? So if my pelvis here was a bucket of water, I'd be pouring the bucket out behind me and then pouring it out in front of me. And what you want to be careful of here is that you're not using your lower back too much. So I'm pushing down with my hands and then lengthening the crown of my head to create some spinal distraction, meaning some space in my spine. And now I've got a nice little bucket tilt. Still in it. And then we bend the knees and go side to side. Okay? If you got the right music on as my music stops, you turn these side to side, front and back into circles, and it's lots of fun. And if you throw an elbow circle in there, you're at the club. All right, so pelvis is moving. We're nice and loose. I'm going to go one up to my lumbar now. I'm in the spine, okay? Raise your hand if you have a tight back. Don't raise your hand. No one can see you. That's weird. All right, tuck your pelvis. Abs on. I'm going to side bend. I'm going to slide a little bit, get these to turn on, okay? From there, I'm going to pull my belly button in, and I'm going to fall forward. Head, arms, everything's loose. And then I'm going to crunch into this other side, and then I'm going to lengthen myself up, okay? So your spine moves in circles as well, a little more three-dimensional. So we want to have the ability to do that. Sometimes we have to invite our spine back into that movement. Okay, I did a little back bend on this one. I'm using my abs to extend. Yeah, fun fact, abs are also used in extending your spine. Usually this is like top 3. I show this to my clients. They're like, oh my God, this is my favorite thing. I'm like, great, I want you to do it all the time. Show all your friends. You'll be the coolest kid at the office. Take lumbar circle breaks. All right, so that's feeling great. Okay, I've worked myself up to about here now, right? So here's where I stop and I address riding that bicycle all the time. I got this one from Kelly Starrett back when the supple leopard was super popular. You'll still see him doing this, so thanks, Kelly. It hurts and we love it. So I'm going to grab a mat for my knee. So if you don't have a bench, I want you to use your couch. You could use your cat if you need something lower, or a small child, you know, one that'll have fun and like hold it for you, not like a small child. Okay, we're not going to abuse our children. We want them to exercise too, though. So I'm putting the top of my foot on the bench here. You can put it on your couch. Okay, and we're going to go back to that pelvic movement we did, that bucket spilling. I'm going to tuck under. So I'm trying to spill the water backwards. And when you do that, you'll start to feel some stuff right here. Most of us will have a lot of stuff. Right there, you're riding a bike like me, you're sitting at a desk, you're taking long walks, you're doing high-intensity workouts. That's where we store all this stuff. Okay, so we're tucking that under, we're lifting tall. This may be way too much already. You might have to lower your foot down. Like, put it on the floor, put it on a foam roller. I'm going to go ahead and widen my other foot out, and I'm going to lean forward like this. And I'm just going to tuck under, squeeze my butt at the end. Don't squeeze your butt first. Tuck and then squeeze. Get nice and tall. Okay. You can turn towards your knee. I push my knee out. Just opening up those hips now. We went joint by joint. Now we're kind of combining joints, which is going to activate some more muscles and connect some things. Okay. Boom, I'm here. That feels better now that I stretched it out. Sometimes you can grab like the coffee table at home, right? You say you're putting your foot up on the couch. I have clients do this all the time. They go, I'm working from home. People were working from home before this. And I go, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put your computer on a table or something in front of you, a footstool. And then I want you to go into couch stretch. And then you're right here, you're doing your work, and you can give it, a whole email on just one leg. Right? And then, of course, we'll hit the other side. But there's no reason we can't start adding some new habits to our routines, seeing this as an opportunity to work on our bodies, give them some love. I'm just going to even this side out because I'm feeling really, really uneven now. So I'll start by rocking back and forth, especially on the left. I tuck that pelvis under, get nice and tall. This left side's always a little tighter for me. If you have one side that's a little tighter than the other, absolutely normal. Totally normal. If you have one side that's really tight and always getting injured, that's actually linked back to a specific area in your brainstem. Not going to go into detail, but if that's something you experience, that's absolutely one of our favorite things to work on with people. Usually if you have a one-side issue like that, you also have some posture issues. And if that's you, I would love to hear from you and tell you more, but I'll save you the neurology talk for later. Okay, I'm going to come back down, tuck this in. I'm pushing my knee out, tucking that pelvis, then squeezing the butt. You can turn your body a little bit. We're going to do some of that later. Okay, and then I'm back up. I'm a little more comfortable. I'm ready to do some emails, right, or watch your favorite shows. Ooh, who's got good shows for me on Netflix? I got Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. I better see some comments of good shows, and not Thomas the Train. I've seen them all, Cal. Okay. Here we go. Luckily, sturdy children are all around these parts. Oh, yeah, exactly, Jim. All right. So now that we've opened up the front, I like to go into the side. Okay. So for this one, you want something like a wall. I've got a pillar here. It's best if you could line yourself up with this pillar and make this L shape with your arm. Okay? If you don't have that, that's fine. Let's say you got the coffee table. Wrong leg. Okay, maybe you have a sturdy dog. A German Shepherd would be great for this. Maybe a Rottweiler. Okay? Even if you're here, we can still do our side openers that we're about to do. Okay? I mentioned stretching isn't always the greatest idea before a hard workout. I would classify this, you are getting some stretch. I classify this guy as more of a fascial mobilizer. So we have these fascial tissues encompassing our body, and those tissues wind down with tension to help us move in the patterns that we do the most. So sometimes we're doing this a lot, and we're typing. So these tissues that line the side of our body, our lateral line, are going to get tight. So I'm going to do a sequence here. I'm going to tuck, spilling the water out the back. I'm going to lengthen up through the crown. I got my backwards L, and now I'm ready. Out to the side, shoulder goes down. As we push that shoulder down and the fingers go up, you might get some tinglies in your palm. That's normal. If it's more than a 4 out of 10 intensity, go ahead and back it off. Okay? And if that's a 10 out of 10 intensity right there, you should message me. All right, here we go. Shoulders down. I'm coming up to my ear. Okay? That alone is usually hard for people. The shoulder will come up. The head will cheat and try to come to your ear. Maybe you get stuck here and then go. Okay? The easiest thing to do there is just drive your shoulder down. The bottom of this bone goes down as the other end goes up. Boom. Boom. Okay? From here, I'm going to push these ribs to the side and then up to the corner of the room while I hold on here. Okay? Now, the tendency right away is going to be to shift out. We don't want to do that. We can play with that later. But we'll come down. I want you to tuck, lengthen, L, check your nails. Don't do a hair toss right now, though. That might hurt your neck. And I'm going to watch my fingers. I'm trying to get to that pole. I'm going to retuck my pelvis as I use it, or as I feel it going sideways. And that's going to intensify everything. Look, I'm so close, but not quite there. I got a trick for that, okay? I'm going to break everything down into thirds. Bottom third, middle third, top third. I'm going to breathe into the bottom third. Yes, you can direct your breath by thinking about it. It's scientifically proven. If you don't believe me, Google it. Okay, tuck, lengthen, check your nails, lift. We're going to breathe into the bottom third. Exhale, a little bit closer. Breathe into the top, or the second, middle third. Expand. There we go. Now breathe into the top third. I've got my hand here. I can rotate and stretch this way. I can rotate and stretch this way. I can hold on. If you don't have anything to hold on, just be careful. I can stretch that hip out to the side now, like we talked about. We'll do one last rep here. I'm going to breathe all three, bottom, middle, top, inhaling, exhaling. Now, here's the special part, big circles. Pretend like you're wiping down your ceiling. Reach up there, elbows straight. Shoulder joint is doing the moving. Keep that shoulder in the joint. All right, about 5 each direction. Again, if you feel a lot of tension in your palm, your hand. Oh, I lost my video. If you're feeling a lot of tension in your palm or your hand, that's your median nerve in there. You'll want to have that checked out. So we're good people to come ask questions about that and tell you, like, hey, you might want to go see a specialist or have someone take a look at that. We got lots of good referral partners that do those things. Okay, so I'm really loose on my left. I'm going to get my other side. For this one, I think I'll face you, but I need to move. I can do it this way. There we go. Okay, tuck. My screen's out again. Tuck the pelvis, tall spine, arms out, check the nails, shoulders down, get your biceps to your ear. Okay, from here, push those ribs out to the side, keeping the pelvis tucked. Shift up to the corner of the room. Oh, this is my good side. I'm already there, right? Tuck the pelvis, reach it up, use your layered breathing. Bottom, middle, top. I'm going to breathe all three into this one. I'm going to do one more. Lifting, tucking, and then I'm going to do my circle. Okay? Oh, yeah. So you may feel this from the palm of your hand down to your knee. Like I said, this is not a normal stretch. This is looking at tensioned fascial tissues that are wound down to actually help your body move. Okay, so we've done most of our spine there. We've gotten into our thoracic line laterally. Your thoracic spine is here, or your upper back. Okay, so usually I'll go into some forward and backward sliding. So that's forward, anterior, posterior. And I'm just trying to get my spine to move. We already did some sideways stuff. Okay, and then after that, I'll go to my neck. I might do some chicken heads. Your neck's actually quite versatile. We can do more than just look at our phone. We can go forward and back. We can go side to side. We rotate. We side bend. Even just spending some time on these side bends, opening up. Opening up. This feeds all those nerves down into your shoulder. You got neck pain, shoulder pain, hands, elbows, wrists, things from typing. This will make a difference. Take a break, do some lateral neck bends. Okay? After those, I tuck my chin. I collapse my chest and round. I'm keeping my ankle point. I'm pulling my abs on. I'm just going to roll down, try to get my whole spine involved. Then I'm going to straighten my legs a little bit, tuck my pelvis under, and try to roll up and lengthen back up. Okay, one more time. Chin down, round, Find a rhythm in your spine, rolling from top to bottom and then bottom to top and getting tall at the end, pulling the abs on, lengthening the crown of your head. Okay? So, like I said, I usually do this all in about 20 minutes or less. You'll feel either warmed up, you'll feel refreshed, you might feel more tight. That'd be another good reason to give us a call or text. That should not happen. Sometimes people need a little more specific programming for this. Like one thing might be good, the other thing might not be so good. If you're generally healthy, these should all feel pretty darn good. Okay. Now that we've got that going, I'm going to give you a couple easy exercises you can put together in a circuit that won't trash you but leave you feeling activated and strong. Okay, let me see how much time I have here. Yeah, let's just take a look at this. Okay, so we're going to start with, this is all no equipment, but just to keep you rolling, feeling good. Okay, we're going to bring your hands behind your head. I just touch my fingertips to the back of my head, and then from there I pretend like I'm trying to touch my elbows together behind my head. A little chest stretch. You can do this in a walking lunge if you have room, and you can do it in a back lunge or a front lunge if you don't have room. So I'm going to just walk at the camera here. I'm open chest, stepping forward, rotating, and now sliding my ribs this way as I try to touch my elbows to my butt. And I'm not going to get there, obviously, but what I want to feel is my abs turn on, and we're stretching this whole line from my knee down. And then from there, I'm going to stand up. Lunge, twist, bend, back up, okay? Here's the back lunge version, and I'll give you a side view. Lunge, tuck the pelvis, twist, abs are on, slide the ribs, touch the elbow to the butt, drive back up. You'll notice that I'm actually standing up from this twisted and rotated position. I want you to have to activate this glute in this rotated position. It might even help you activate it. And I want you to keep those abs on and learn how to coil and uncoil. Okay, so we can repeat that for 10 reps. You can do that for 20 reps. You can do it as a break. You can do it as a warm-up. Hi, Becky. Welcome. Okay, so we've got back lunge, twist, and bend. Okay, from there, I'm going to go to the floor. Okay, let's see what view will be best here. Push-up position. I like these push-ups because anyone can do them. I call them hand-release push-ups. So we're going to lower down. Shoulders are down and back. Elbows come down and back. I spiral my elbows out all the way to the floor. From here, I tuck the pelvis in, holding my pelvis into the floor. I squeeze my shoulder blades together to get those hands to release. And I put them back nice and far. I've got a good angle in my elbow for my wrist. Elbow to shoulder should be about 90 degrees. Pull the shoulders back. Find your toes. Tuck the pelvis under and push up. Okay? Now I said anyone can do this. If that's too hard, you're down here. You release your hand. Squeeze your shoulders. No lower back. Tuck your pelvis. Grab the toes. Now, tuck the pelvis, push up, knee. No problem. Boom. Down, hand release, here, knees. This is a great way to get yourself well practiced at push-ups, and then eventually throw in some hard ones. I mean, the knees might be plenty hard for you. Some harder ones, advance yourself by pushing up like that. Okay, once I've done about 10 of those, I'm going to drive the palms into the ground, pushing into a downward dog type thing. Now, I don't do yoga. I'm not good at yoga, so please feel free to judge me, but I definitely don't claim to be good at this. I'll come up here, and I'm mostly looking at my calves first, and I'll push up onto my toes. I'll drive the heels down. If you need the help, just push your heels up. That'll help get your butt up. Now, what I'm focusing on is getting my head through and stacking my shoulder joints with my elbows and my wrist. And from there, I like to push my shoulders up and down and work on those. Okay. Boom. You can come back down. Hand release. Push up, down. Play with a couple here. I'm locking my elbows and rotating inward. Okay. Boom. Release. Up. Rotate. Locked. Head through. Heels up. Play with the shoulder. Okay. Get a couple more of those. I usually do about 10. Take a look at it. This is so good. Oh, hi, Mark. Mark says, I found I can't sit on my feet because my feet are too tight. Yeah, totally. At Mark. I'm going to try sitting on something to make stretch less. All right, good. Now, we've done our lunges and our push-ups. We're nice and warm. Maybe we want to slow it back down, right? A lot of what I do is I go slow, and then I go out and practice my fast movements on a sports field, right? I try to keep it all sports specific, but in here, I'm going to go slow. So I call these my Jane Fondas on steroids. You used to see my mom in the living room just cranking these out. Mom's got strong hips. I definitely didn't inherit those. So these are fun, right? And if you're doing them well, you're working on this timing of your femur going into your hip, which is very useful. But we've been doing all the circles, right? This is not a circle, so we're going to put some Z-Health on it, make it a circle. I've got my abs tucked. I'm going to bring my foot forward. Okay, my back's flat, my bottom leg's holding me up like this, my knees locked. We talked about our rotation earlier. When I do hip exercises, I pick the rotation that's harder. So in is harder for me. So just holding this here sucks. Okay, you're going to feel it near your IT band all the way up. So that's part of your glute, but this is flexion. Your glutes are actually part of this flexion of your hip. So we rotate in. We're going to go up, backwards, down, and around to make a nice, slow circle. Keeping the knee lock, keeping the rotation. That's 1, 2. I'm aiming for about 5 seconds per circle. 3. If you're doing these with me, the whole on steroids will be very clear after number 4. 5. This was how I rehabbed a lot of my hip injuries. I switched direction. My leg's on fire. I'm regretting showing you guys this exercise. I want to go home and cancel the rest of my online clients. Oh, this sucks. Sorry. Also, you're welcome. Okay, I just lost count. Okay, I think that's 10. Okay, so, yeah. Holy hip circle. Now, that's 1. Position 1, 5 each direction, 5 seconds each circle. Position 2, just like Mom used to do, except we're going to hold the top. We're going to one-up Mom, because that's the kind of competitive family I have. Lock your knees, straighten out, rotate in. We're going to do a circle up here. And if you thought the first one sucks, well, this is worse. Okay. Lock that knee. Okay. I can't even talk anymore. Got to focus. Legs not moving. Keep breathing. Oh, Romans loves this kind of stuff. I hope you're doing your hip circles, Jim. Okay, keep that knee locked. Keep the rotation. These are obviously not 5 seconds anymore. So if you have to speed it up, that's fine, but work on slowing it down. I'm just going to stop there. Holy mackerel. Okay, I'll give you a different view here. So this one's the most specific. We've got to keep the abs on. We've got to drive the heel back until you feel your bum turn on. So you can even just kind of hold the bottom of your cheek where your hamstring and your cheek comes together, a little crease. Okay, straight leg, rotate it in, come backwards. You're going to feel that muscle turn on. You should be able to grab a little bit of your bum. If not, go a little further. If you go a little further, it's still not there. That's another good reason to call me. You have no butt. Rotate in. Yeah, that position that felt like it was impossible to move. 2, 3. These ones are harder to get 5 seconds, just because the range of motion might be smaller. But if you practice, you'll get there. And then we'll switch directions. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Okay, so just check in. Pull the heels here. Fingers are forward. Open the chest up and just kind of play with your hips. Loosen it out. Jay did some of these yesterday. If you want more shin box stuff, he did a cool little dance move. I'm not going to dance for you. I already did that. We did pelvic circles and elbow circles. That's my style. Okay, that left hip should be way more awake. You should feel like it's firm, like there's blood in there pumping it. That pump is good. Arnold talks about that in a fun movie. You should look that one up too while you have extra time. And then you should also feel warm and awake. So I've got this really awake and alive left side, and I've got my normal, now seemingly kind of dead and numb, right side. So even though I don't want to, let's wake that side up. Let's see if I missed anything before we do that. Yeah, they burn. They totally burn. Are you alternating back and forward? Yeah, circles. So here, let's see. We'll do this other side here. I'm doing straight leg. I'm rotating my hip in. I'm reaching forward. And now if my heel had a marker on it, I'd be drawing a circle on the wall. Okay? The circle is coming from here, but you'd be drawing it from your heel. So we're going to slow those down. Get our 5. These do get easier, but I'll never say they get easy. I've been doing them for years now. They still suck. Okay. Straight line, all the way up. Oh yeah, these are way faster than 5 seconds. I'm a cheater. Slow it down. If you're just tuning in, this is a riveting segment of hip circles. Don't change the channel. It gets better. If you're looking for a cheap, easy hip burn, jump into these hip circles. Squeeze your butt. Come back, turn it in. Remember, you can hold the bottom portion, find your glute when it turns on, keep that knee straight, hit your back circle. Switch directions. Okay, so let's say we've done all our hip circles, we've done those push-ups, we've done our lunges, we've got 3 exercises, let's just keep focusing on those. Now let's go back to the joint drills we did. We can repattern those back on while we're tired, while our muscles are active, while we're actually moving. There's a little more context to what we're doing, right, for our body. It's not just some random drills. Now it's like, I want to do these exercises and treat my joints good and teach them how to move. So we just used our hips. We did hip circles. We could do some more hip circles like this. These will probably feel amazing now, 100% different. Okay? Play with some of those. We could do some of our lumbar circles again. Okay? It's all about owning the movement that our joints and our muscles are made to do at a basic level and at a somewhat more complex level. You go slow, then you go fast, then you add a ball or some kind of sport aspect to it, and you are an athlete. Okay, so let's go through these all one more time really quick, and that'll be it. And actually, you know what? Check that. I'm going to add one more. If you want to pump it up a little bit, we're going to do this in 3s. So here's level 1. We're going to go hold, balance, balance. 3. And then from here, I'm going to give you side view. I want you to keep your flat foot, bend your knee as much as you can, opposite toe touch, and then come back up. 2, whoop. Control it, don't drop too fast like I just did. 3, okay, I just did 3 hops or 3 steps, 3 squats. Now I'm going to do it again. 3, 2, 1, going for balance and control. Okay, so level 1, which could also be really hard. If you slow it down, that makes it harder in my opinion than going fast. 3 hops, 3 touches, do it 4 times for 12 total. You want to kick it up a notch, jump a little further. Got 3. Oh, I could add a little jump to here. 2, 3. Control. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So there's 2 different levels that you can play with that. Speed it up, slow it down. Both can be harder. Let's review those real quick. I'll leave you to pick and choose which ones are your faves, and you can keep practicing. And then I need some lunch. All right. So first one. What was it? Hand release push-up? I already forgot. Yep, hand release push-up. Okay? I'm going to cut it down to 5. Work them down. Nice and slow. Let's say you've been practicing your push-ups and they're not getting better. Try lowering yourself down for 5 or 10 seconds. Keep your abs on. Squeeze those shoulders together. Squeeze up here. Come back in. Remember, if you need it, knees. Slow down. Squeeze. If you don't need it, no need. Slow down. Release. Push. Downward dog. Shoulders. Up and down. Get a little break. Rotate those elbows towards each other. Get those shoulders to sit in the socket. Pull your abs tight. Okay? 1, 2, 3, play. Last one here, after downward dog. Push up, hand release, up, downward dog. Push the shoulders. Hang out there. Pedal the feet. You can go for reps, get a workout, do a couple, feel good. Okay? I'm going to do my hip circles before the lunges because I don't want to be mean to myself. Okay? I'm going to speed them up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing wrong with going faster, but they still have to be pretty. They come from here, they're drawn down there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Straight down. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, and 5. Good. And back. Abs on. 2. Find that crease. Make sure it's turning on. All right, so here's a fun combo. We did our circles first on the right side. So we'll hop up. We'll do our lunges. Step back with your opposite leg, your left leg. Turn. Tilt. Stand up. Back down. Just all 10 in a row on that same hip we were just doing circles. Okay? So the burn level is probably way up there right now. Heart rate's not too bad. So you can get a higher intensity and a good burn without feeling like you're going to throw up or break something. I've already lost count. Talking and counting at the same time. It's tough. Oh. Okay, let's do 2 more. Oh, okay. Quickly down. Front position. A little quicker. Knees locked. Hips turned in. 3, 4, 5. 5, Good. Straight down the body. Straight up. Turn it in. 5, 4, 3. You notice this one, as I speed this one up, my circle gets a little less circly. I might have to slow these down. I don't want to practice doing bad circles. Nothing worse than circles, except for bad circles. Squeeze back. Abs are on. Glutes on. Spine is not overextended. Glutes on fire. Hips on fire. Great time to do some lunges on that same leg. Let's go back view. 1, 2, ab shift, up. 1, 2, shift, and up. 1, 2, abs on, don't lean. Keep it active. Okay. Done here. Glutes are working. Butt's feeling good. Let's make this the last one. Okay, so we've got the hand release push-ups. We threw in some downward dog and some shoulder play. We got 3 position hip circles. We got back lunge, twist, and bend. And then if you want to kick it up, you got your 1, 2, 3, toe touch, toe touch, toe touch. Do it quick. Do it slow. That's all the time I got for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me share my stretching routine with you. Go ahead and pick 1, 2, or 3 of your favorites. Set an alarm tomorrow. Start today. Every 2 hours, little timer goes off. Try your favorite drill. See how it goes. And maybe throw in some hip circles, some lumbar circles every couple hours, and loosen yourself up. Guarantee you'll have a better day. See you next time.